reaction. My biology studied for science prodigies. My apologies, flows and rhymes can be quite astonishing. I've been polishing every line, cause this writer's novel is published, so why...
What is up, everybody? Alphabyte here with another reaction. First off, just want to say sorry for the lack of uploads. Just been really busy lately. Got a lot of family stuff going on, and you know, just being busy. Had to take a break so I can put in some more work. But we are back to our regularly scheduled program. All right, Monday through Friday, expect one upload, and also on my gaming channel, expect one upload. And yeah, I also make music. Alphabyte Music for my music, Alphabyte Gaming for my gaming, Alphabyte Reactions for my reactions. Today we're going to be checking out Hopsin. This is on his No Shame album. This is track number 8, Black Sheep, featuring Eric Tucker. We're going to do the reaction format a little bit differently. I'm going to play through the entire song without stopping. That way I can just get like an organic feel. And those of you who just want to listen to the song thoroughly without me... or listen through the song without stops, you just can enjoy it, head bop with me, just really feel it, and then we'll run it all the way back and I'll break it down as much as I can, like I always like to do. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it.
And I act like I don't give a fuck, but I do give a fuck. And I'm trapped inside my mind, there ain't no loosening up. Maybe I'm thinking too much. Am I caught in my feelings? Are the odds of me being accepted 1 in a million? I'm the black sheep, the black sheep, the black sheep. It's like the rain is falling on me, you don't know what I do. And I'm the black sheep, the black sheep. Are the odds of me being accepted 1 in a million? I'm the black sheep. Fuck, a nigga just don't fit in. No one close to kin. I write about it so much I done broke my pen, and I'm sick of pretending my life is so dandy and flawless. I'm stuck on the road to hell fighting demons, but I let them drag me across it, while everybody happily applauds it. Tell me what caused it. Was it Monroe High? That's where I went to school at. All the black kids said I was whitewashed, and the white kids said I was too black. When I skateboarded, I got fooled at. At lunchtime, I was who they threw food at. I was trying so hard to cope with it, I really wanted to run up on campus with 2 gats and just let loose. Put some niggas in the ER for trying to treat me like a retard. Where the fuck does my future lie? I can't see far, mama's little sweetheart. He developed an attitude, picked up a mic, that's a hell of an avenue. He gon' take your ass to hell and then back with you. Life is the class you could tell I've been absent to. My massive dad has got me wrapped around it and it drags me down a bit. I don't know how to cast it out, I try to rap profound so you can laugh about this shit. Truth is, yo, I never laugh. I'm looking for wherever heaven's at. The black sheep that won't let them pass. They would rather get together, tie him up and then behead his ass. Got me hella sad. Listen. Do you ever feel like the world is never gonna want you? Like the world is never gonna need you? I will do. Every day is deja vu for me. And I act like I don't give a fuck, but I do give a fuck. And I'm trapped inside my mind, there ain't no loosening up. Maybe I'm thinking too much. Am I caught in my feelings? Are the odds of me being accepted 1 in a million? I'm the black sheep, the black sheep, the black sheep. It's like the rain is falling on me, you don't know what I do. And I'm the black sheep, the black sheep. Are the odds of me being accepted 1 in a million? Oh, I'm the black sheep. That nigga whose brain is off, I am that. My train of thought left on Amtrak. I take the loss and I stand back. I can't pay the cost for no hand clap. I can't recall when this damn crap became so overwhelming. I started rebelling, now hate is all as I stand as. Never got no love for my niggas, and no love from the hoes. Pinned up in the hole, trying to climb out the devil's dark lab with the oven is closed. I don't ever leave the house much. I never really thought this would be the outcome. Wish I had a window I was leaping out from. My family is yelling, please Jesus help them. When I'm out in the real world, I feel like nobody knows me. What if this whole time I've had an issue and nobody told me? See, this cold heart isn't cozy. Am I below par and I don't see? I'm so disconnected from earth, my hands are out so far, but they won't reach. Should I get in the coffin? Not many niggas would wanna kick it with me unless they were gonna benefit off it. Motherfuckers never interested in knowing me. They just be itching for hops, and I be frontin' if I act like it isn't a problem. I done shed tears contemplating my suicide in my room, isn't it awesome? Fuck no. Do you ever feel like the world is never gonna want you? Like the world is never gonna need you? I always do. Every day is deja vu for me. And I act like I don't give a fuck, but I do give a fuck. And I'm trapped inside my mind, there ain't no loosening up. Maybe I'm thinking too much. Am I caught in my feelings? Are the odds of me being accepted 1 in a million? I'm the black sheep, the black sheep. It's like the rain is falling on me, you don't know what I deal with. I'm the black sheep, the black sheep. Are the odds of me being accepted 1 in a million? I'm the black sheep, the black sheep. It's like the rain is falling on me, you don't know what I deal with. I'm the black sheep, the black sheep. Are the odds of me being accepted 1 in a million? I'm the black sheep, the black sheep. It's like the rain is falling on me, you don't know what I deal with. I'm the black sheep, the black sheep. Are the odds of me being accepted 1 in a million? I'm the black sheep.
So this is a song I have heard before. I love Hopsin. Been listening to him for a number of years, since I was like a sophomore in high school or something. So I've got a very, very deep investment into his life and into his music, and luckily they coexist beautifully. He writes about his life all the time. And the title of the song is Black Sheep, and that's the perfect symbology for how he feels throughout his entire life, or even in specific points in his life. He feels like he is, or always has been, the black sheep, whether that's of the family or his peers or life in general. He feels like he's casted out as an outcast. That's another good word for it. He feels like he's treated differently, treated poorly. He feels like he's struggling all the time. Feels like he's going through hell. Feels like he's got devils and demons that he's constantly battling. So let's go ahead and let's run this back from the beginning now that we've listened to it. And as you can tell, it's a really deep song, very emotional, has that beautiful piano in the background, and his vocal inflections, like he's speaking from a place where he's like almost screaming, but it's like dialed back just a couple notches to where it's almost just kind of like he's aggressively, he's just fed up. So when he's delivering these lines, it carries that much more of an impact. So let's get right into this.
I act like I don't give a fuck, but I do give a fuck. And I'm trapped inside my mind, there ain't no loosening up. Maybe I'm thinking too much. Am I caught in my feelings? Are the odds of me being accepted 1 in a million? I'm the black sheep, the black sheep. It's like the rain is falling on me, you don't know what I deal with. I'm the black sheep, the black sheep. Are the odds of me being accepted 1 in a million? I'm the black sheep.
I love that hook. I love that hook. I love this song. So the hook is really the only points in the song where he's not like super upset in a way that's coming off in aggressive form. It's very like sad. And he opens it off saying, I act like I don't give a fuck, but I do give a fuck. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of us. That's a lot of people. That is a lot of people. Whether you're just doing that to protect yourself, or whether you're doing that to hold up an image, or whatever. There could be a number of reasons why you have that mentality. He also talks about how like the rain is always falling on him. You don't know what he's dealing with. So he's basically going through struggles that he's hiding. You don't know when the rain's falling on him, right? It's cool little imagery there. And he also talks about how his chances of being accepted are 1 in a million. Like he genuinely feels that he's got a very low probability of being understood and accepted by people on this earth or whatever. And he also has a really good line about hold on. This is what happens when I don't just stop immediately when I hear the lines, and I have to go back and pick apart a whole sequence of lines. Oh yeah, there's the expression, like if you tell someone to loosen up, right? Just basically saying to relax, calm down. And he's saying that he's trapped in his mind. There's no loosening up. He's so stuck and caught up in his mental state that there is no loosening up for him. You can't loosen up. So this hook, everything I just talked about, that's what he's saying. And I love it. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Fuck, a nigga just don't fit in. No one close to kin. I write about it so much I done broke my pen, and I'm sick of pretending my life is so dandy and flawless.
And he's just saying right there, I can't fit in. No one's close to kin, or basically he's saying he's not close to his kin, so his family, or there's no one that's close as kin. He doesn't have friends that are basically as close as family could be. And he writes about it so much, right? And it's not fixing anything, or he's wearing it out, or, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't, he might not be getting that therapeutic expression that he once got when he writes about his issues or his struggles or about how he can't fit in or how he's depressed or whatever. Yeah, I like this opening sequence for the verse.
The king, I write about it so much I done broke my pen, and I'm sick of pretending my life is so dandy and flawless. I'm stuck on the road to hell fighting demons, but I let them drag me across it.
And he's sick of what he's going through. He's sick of being dragged across this road to hell by the demons, right? So he's sick of pretending that he's okay, that his life's dandy and flawless, and the demons are dragging him through the dirt and through the path to hell. So it's really good imagery while also being really close to home to his experience.
Life is so dandy and flawless. I'm stuck on the road to hell fighting demons, but I let them drag me across it. While everybody happily applauds it, tell me what caused it.
And he's talking about everybody's happy and is applauding basically his trials and his errors and his traumas and his issues, like, because at the end of the day, as fans, you're happy to just get the music from Hopsin, right? And he does a really cool comparison from Marcus to Hopsin, saying that nobody really wants Marcus, they only want Hopsin. No one cares about Marcus, they're only interested in Hopsin. So as a fan, when you're happy to get this content, because it's at the end of the day, it's music by an artist you care for, you love his music, blah, blah, blah. We applaud the music he's giving us, but at the same time, the music he's giving us is very, it's talking about his hard experiences. So he's got this cool contrast of talking about going through all these trials and tribulations, but nobody's like feeling bad for him in the way that they're expressing it that way, or like just the regular fan is just they're applauding the music he's making, like I said, which is basically a painful experience for him because he's writing about his life.
Hell fighting demons, but I let them drag me across it. While everybody happily applauds it, tell me what caused it. Was it Monroe High? That's where I went to school at. All the black kids said I was whitewashed, and the white kids said I was too black.
So at the very end of the start of this line, he talks about how, so what is the thing that caused it? And then I forgot how he pronounces the name of his high school, but he starts with going all the way back into high school, maybe potentially being the cause of this path of destruction that he's on. Was it high school? Was it the black kids telling me that I'm whitewashed, or is it the white kids telling me that I'm too black? Because this is an issue that mixed humans in general, right? If your ethnicity is being composed of having a white mom or a black dad or vice versa, and you're mixed, you're not fully black, you're not fully white, you're going to be in this weird middle area where you're too dark for the white kids, but you're too white for the dark kids, right? So that's what he's talking about. So maybe some of these issues have started from the roots going all the way back to high school, dealing with these social issues.
Oh, hi, that's where I went to school at. All the black kids said I was whitewashed, and the white kids said I was too black. When I skateboarded, I got booed at. At lunchtime, I was who they threw food at.
And that's fucked up, right? Because Marcus, he skates. Hop is a skater. He's a real skater. He loves skating. He has a passion for skating. If you followed Hopsin, you know that this is something he loves doing. And he's saying that just getting just getting booze while he's skateboarding. He's just trying to enjoy himself, or he's trying to get away. He's trying to just do something, but he's getting booed while he's just doing something as simple as skateboarding. And then at lunchtime, he was the kid that they threw food at. So it's a really cool composition of bars with the end rhymes of I got booed at, they threw food at. Hopsin has always got these crazy polysyllabic rhyming. I'm not going to be breaking down, because when you have a song that's this content packed, that's what I'm going to be primarily focused on. Of course, the rhymes, the flows, the patterns, the cadences, the pockets, all that shit is going right into my brain. But with the content that's here, I'm going to be talking about that.
White kids said I was too black. When I skateboarded, I got fooled at. At lunchtime, I was who they threw food at. I was trying so hard to cope with it. I really wanted to run up on campus with 2 gats and just let loose. Put some niggas in the ER for trying to treat me like a retard.
So yeah, he's talking about, like, he got to the point where he was so fed up dealing with this shit that he wanted to be that school shooter, right? He wanted to be that kid that he was so full of hatred and sadness, and really he had others to blame for it, that they were the ones causing him this pain, and he just wanted to let loose and put some people in the ER. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not saying he's gonna kill him, right? He put him in the ER, right? He's gonna shoot him up, though. Obviously, you don't know if you do go down that kind of path. I mean, you could have full intention to shoot somebody, just in the leg, but guess what? You got a major artery in your leg, so if you shoot that, they're probably gonna die, probably gonna bleed out on the spot. But let's run this back.
Yes, and just let loose. Put some niggas in the ER for trying to treat me like a retard. Where the fuck does my future lie? I can't see far. Mama's little sweetheart.
And I like that. If you know anything about Hopsin, you know that he was in special ed classes, and kids, he said it right there. People treated him like a retard, right? They treated him like he was stupid. They treated him like he was special ed, as if that has any kind of determination on the kind of person you are, just because you have some sort of learning ability or focusing ability or any kind of disability, that you should be treated so poorly that makes people want to do these things. And he talks about how, like, where's my future at? I can't even see far. Mama's little sweetheart. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's talking about how all he does know is that his mom thinks of him as a sweetheart, but he's got teachers and peers telling him that, like, his future is basically going to be terrible, and so he can't even plan or even have any form of foresight to see what that path is going to be that he ends up on, because how things are now, right? You plan for your future. So if things are going so bad in your current life that you can't even plan out your life in the future, that's the situation you're going to be in, and that's what he's describing.
He developed an attitude, picked up a
this flow switch I love.
gats and just let loose. Put some niggas in the ER for trying to treat me like a retard. Where the fuck does my future lie? I can't see far. Mama's little sweetheart. He developed an attitude, picked up a mic, that's a hell of an avenue. He gon' take your ass to hell and then back with you. Life is the class you could tell I've been absent to.
Woo! I love that flow. Those bars, they just hit so perfect. The beat drops and he just immediately dives into the sequence of a pocket that is just so smooth. And it's got like this crazy like delivery with the I developed an attitude, picked up a mic that's a hell of an attitude, or a hell of an avenue. So right, so he's talking about developed an attitude, picked up the mic that's a hell of an avenue. Those 3-syllable rhymes, and he keeps it going.
That's a hell of an avenue. He gon' take your ass to hell and then back with you. Life is a class you could tell I've been absent to.
Life is a class you can tell I've been absent to, right? Man, this is Hop at his purest. I love Hop. This is the shit I like. Marcus, right? You get a beautiful blend of Marcus and Hopsin in this track.
But Mike, that's a hell of an avenue. He gon' take your ass to hell and then back with you. Life is the class you could tell I've been absent to. My massive dad has got me wrapped around and then it drags me down a bit. I don't know how to cast it out. I try to rap profound so you can laugh about the shit.
And again, he immediately switches into another flow, speeds it up a little bit. I think he said the massive doubt tries to drag me down a bit. I want to say he says something like that.
The hell in the back with you. Life is the class you could tell I've been absent to. My massive dad has got me wrapped around and then it drags me down a bit. I don't know how to cast it out. I try to rap profound so you can laugh about the shit.
He says something. I can't break that down with that. My massive my massive cloud, my massive doubt, something massive. He's saying something, but he's talking about how it's weighing him down so much that it's dragging him down. And he says he raps profound. He tries to cast it out so you can laugh aloud with it or something like that. You know what I'm saying? He keeps those internal rhymes flowing beautifully, but he also is describing that, you know, he's got a weight on him that is inescapable, and he raps a very specific way, so, kind of like a class clown, right? So but with music. So he says these very profound, you know, ear-perking things, so that way it might take away from things that he might be insecure about or things he's struggling with. So that way, because when you make someone laugh, it's a great feeling. Or if you can shine the light away from some shit you don't want on, and you can put the shine somewhere else, having a opportunity to direct where the focus is, that's empowering. And yeah, so I feel like that's kind of what he's talking about there.
Around and then it drags me down a bit. I don't know how to cast it out. I try to rap profound so you can laugh about.
Okay, so he says I don't know how to cast it out. So meaning he doesn't know how to get rid of it. So if he's got a demon inside of him, right, or if he's got an issue that's inside of him, they're like, and I'm saying this specifically because you cast out demons, right? If you get exercised, or if you try to cast something out of you, you're pulling it out of you. Initially, when I heard this, I thought he said I cast it out, so that way he's saying like kind of like a fishing bar or line right there with that imagery where you cast your line when you're fishing, so you're throwing it out there. So I thought that's what he was saying, but he's saying he can't cast it out. So it speaks more about what I was speaking earlier about trying to remove something from your presence.
The shit. Truth is, yo, I never laugh. I'm looking for wherever heaven's at. The black sheep that won't let him pass. They would rather get together, tie him up, and then behead his ass.
He's saying truth is, I never laugh. The black sheep, they're gonna never let his ass in. Truth is, he's just trying to get into heaven, but he's saying that how can the black sheep be accepted into heaven? How can someone be accepted anywhere when you're me?
I'm looking for wherever heaven's at. The black sheep that won't let him pass. They would rather get together, tie him up, and then behead his ass. Got me hella sad.
And they would rather just tie his ass up and behead him, right? That's what he's saying. Why would they let someone into heaven like this when they would rather probably just behead him?
Listen, do you ever feel like the world is never gonna want you? Like the world is never gonna need you? I will feel every day is deja vu for me.
Every day's deja vu. You ever feel like no one's ever gonna love you, no one's ever gonna want you? And he's saying that he feels like this all the time. It's a never-ending cycle. And it's a really cool bridge into the hook.
Never gonna want you. Like the world is never gonna need you. I will feel.
And I can't relate. I can't imagine what that feels like. I've been blessed. I've had misfortunes and traumas, of course, but I've never felt like that. I've never felt like no one's ever going to want me or need me, or the world has no use for me. I've never felt like that, and I'm very thankful I can say that. So this is a level of pain and depression that I can't possibly imagine. But hearing him talk about it and express it makes it easy to see, you know, it's got a tremendous effect.
Every day is deja vu for me. And I act like I don't give a fuck, but I do give a fuck. And I'm trapped inside my mind, there ain't no loosening up. Maybe I'm thinking too much. Am I caught in my feelings? Are the odds of me being accepted 1 in a million? I'm the black sheep, the black sheep. It's like the rain is falling on me, you don't know what I do. And I'm the black sheep, the black sheep. Are the odds of me being accepted 1 in a million? Oh, I'm the black sheep.
And it's cool because everything I talked about when I first broke down the hook, I forgot to mention after I'm trapped in my head, there's no loosen it up. Am I thinking too much, or am I just caught in my feelings? So like, these are very valid questions you have to ask yourself, because there are times when that happens. It could be something very simple where you're caught in your feelings, or you overthink it. And that sends you down like a downward spiral of making things worse than they actually are. But if you are valid in those feelings and you got to give these thoughts a appropriate amount of time to consider, that is okay. But if you already have things that are very bad, and if you're going through some heavy shit and you are overthinking that, and you are too caught in your emotions and your feelings, it definitely just makes it worse. But it's definitely valid to at least assign, like I said, an appropriate amount of time for these thoughts and these feelings, because you don't want to just ignore that shit, because that could be potentially worse. You always got to be in a state of reflection when it comes to serious shit.
That nigga whose brain is off, I am that. My train of thought left on Amtrak. I take the loss and I stand back. I can't pay the cost for no hand clap. I can't recall when this damn crap became so overwhelming. I started rebelling. Now hate is all as I stand as.
That's crazy. So we're gonna run that back because he says a lot in there. So hold up, we're gonna break it down a little bit more efficiently.
That nigga whose brain is off, I am that.
Okay, right. So that brother whose brain is off, I am that, right? So he's already been able to self-identify that he's just different. He thinks different. Like he knows that about himself.
My train of thought left on Amtrak.
All right, Amtrak. My train of thought left on Amtrak. All right, that's a cool little reference there, music reference, and the train of thought. That's cool symbology and representative of basically, right? Like your train of thought. If you have something, I don't need to explain train of thought. You guys know what a train of thought is. We can move to the next one.
I take the loss and I stand back. I can't pay the cost for no hand clap.
I take the loss. I take a loss and then stand back. I can't pray to cause.
My train of thought left on Amtrak. I take the loss and I stand back. I can't pay the cost for no hand clap.
Okay, I'm not entirely sure what he means by that. I pray to cause for no hand clap. I'm sure I'm messing it up. I'm probably not reciting it correctly. Those are probably not the right lyrics. If we had a lyric video up or if I had the lyrics pulled up, probably be a lot easier to break down. But you know, that's okay for me. I don't mind messing up or not being able to catch something, because that's the beauty of music. It makes you need to re-listen. It makes you need to visit that again, or it makes you need to look at the lyrics. You know, it just opens it up. Also, there's people in the comments that'll probably be able to spot it for me and break it down and elaborate. So that's just community engagement. So I have no issues missing stuff.
I can't recall when this damn crap became so overwhelming. I started rebelling. Now hate is all as I stand there.
I can't recall the moment when this crap became so overwhelming that hate is now all that I stand for, basically, or I stand as. So he's just talking about how, like I said earlier, like what music did for him at one point, it's not doing the same thing. It's not giving him that therapeutic form of expression or satisfaction. So now it's like the image he's portraying / coming across in his music is hatred. He's noticing that there was a shift in a lapsed point of time where he went from basically having fun with music, rapping about enjoying rapping about skating or whatever the case may be. There was a shift in his mental state and in his process and in the final product alone in his music. And that's really good self-awareness, because that's something, as you change, you're going to change with your music and vice versa. Like it's going to be a forever evolving thing. It's an evolution. It's a process.
Can't recall when this damn crap became so overwhelming. I started rebelling. Now hate is all as I stand as. Never got no love for my niggas and no love from the hoes. Pinned up in the hole, trying to climb out the devil's dark lair, but the oven is closed.
I like that. It's a really cool flow switch. He immediately dips into a pocket that is very sonically pleasing, and the delivery changes completely. He kind of has like a melody with it, but he's talking about he's never had no love from the brothers, no love from the hoes. He's penned up in a hole, and he's in the dark. He's in the devil's dark lair. The oven stays closed. I want to say that's basically that 4-bar sequence there, talking about he's got an absent of love from people. And he's stuck, he's penned up in a hole, right? So if you're penned up somewhere, you know, they call it the pen. When you go to jail or when you go to prison, you're penned up. You got like this really tiny area. So he's saying he's penned up in a hole, he's stuck in a hole, and he alludes to that hole being an oven from the devil, right? So really cool imagery there.
The holes pinned up in the hole, trying to climb out the devil's dark lair, but the oven is closed.
Yeah, trying to climb out the devil's dark lair, but the oven's closed.
I don't ever leave the house much. I never really thought this would be the outcome.
I never ever leave the house much. I never ever thought that this would be the outcome. I know I'm messing up, but it's really cool because he talks about being penned up in a hole, and then he immediately talks about how he doesn't ever leave his house much. So it's almost like he's describing this dark place as his own home. He, for a while there, I know, basically in a basement, he recorded and wrote and produced all of his music. So him not leaving the house much is very interpretive in the fact that it could be because he's so busy working on music, or he's just depressed and he doesn't leave the house, right? So he doesn't have reasons to leave the house. If he doesn't have friends, if he doesn't have love, he doesn't have any reason to be social or to leave the house, whether, like I said, because it's an absence of a social life, or because he's so depressed he's doing nothing in his house, or if he's just focusing on making the music. So it's really cool that that little melody, or that harmony and melody, I guess you could say, from that 4-bar sequence prior to him talking about how he doesn't leave the house much. It's very cohesive.
The oven is closed. I don't ever leave the house much. I never really thought this would be the outcome. Wish I had a window I was leaping out from. My family is yelling, please, Jesus, help them.
Suicidal thoughts, man. He talks about how he just wished he had a window to leap out of, and then the only thing that his family is basically able to express to him is that, please help him. Somebody help him. Whether it's a higher power or whether it's people, like that's the only thing that his family has to describe his situation. Like you can tell that they're viewing him in such a specific light that it's negative, and they just want him to get help.
When I'm out in the real world, I feel like nobody knows me. What if this whole time I've had an issue and nobody told me? See, this cold heart isn't cozy. Am I below par and I don't see? I'm so disconnected from earth. My hands are out so far, but they won't reach.
I love that. What if I had a problem this whole time and nobody told me? I feel like in the outside world, nobody knows me. I reach out my arms as far as I can and I can't reach. Like, he's so disconnected from earth. Again, this is the perfect title for the song, The Black Sheep. Everything we've talked about up until this point in the song is just perfect representation of being the black sheep. He feels so disconnected. He feels no sense of love. He's incredibly depressed. He's struggling in all factors of a mental state. And he's talking about having a cold heart, and it's not cozy. He does not enjoy having such a cold heart, being cold-hearted. There was something else that he said. I had it in my mind as I was explaining that. What was it? It was, could it be that I'm subpar and I just don't see? So subpar, right? That's a golfing term. Like, if you go for par, that means you hit the expected number of, so if it's par 4, right, for a hole, for a golf course, if you hit the ball 4 times and on that 4th stroke, you make it into the hole, right? Then that's you hit for par. It took you 4 strokes on a 4 par course, and that's the interesting. So if you're below par, that means you did well. That means you would be in the negatives. So subpar, that's what it means. But if you go over par, like if it took you 5 strokes to get a par 4 hole, that means you would have a +1, which would not be good. You would or a +5, whatever. I don't remember. I think it would be +1. I'm not a golf guy. I really am not. I just kind of know the concept of it. So hold up.
Low par and I don't had an issue when nobody told me. See, this cold heart isn't cozy. Am I below par and I don't see?
Okay, so I see, because if you describe something out of golfing context as subpar, then that means it's below average. It's not great. I was just overthinking it. So, but yeah, that's, we can move on.
I'm so disconnected from earth. My hands are out so far, but they won't reach. Should I get in the coffin? Not many niggas would want to kick it with me unless they were going to benefit off it.
Should I just crawl in the coffin? People don't want to fucking hang out with me unless they benefit off it. So like that really intricate multi-syllable rhymes, like he's got those breaks in between the syllables that are actually popping and rhyming themselves with the bars in the middle. It sounds really dope. His delivery has always been flawless to me. But yeah, he's talking about how, like, should I just die now? Like, people don't even want to hang out with me unless they're benefiting from it.
Reach, should I get in the coffin? Not many niggas would want to kick it with me unless they were gonna benefit off it. Motherfuckers never interested in knowing me. They just be itching for Hopsin. I be fronting if I act like it isn't a problem. I done shed tears contemplating my suicide in my room. Isn't it awesome?
And that's what I was talking about earlier, how he compares. No one wants to know Marcus. No one wants to know who the man behind the artist is. They just want to know Hopsin. They're just itching for Hopsin. They're not trying to kick it with Marcus. They don't want to know how Marcus's day was. They just want to know what the next song's going to be, when the next album's going to come out, what the next music video going to be, when's he going to go on tour next. They just want to know the musical side of this human being. They don't want to know the human himself. When in reality, a big part of any alter ego or alias that you create, that's stemming from you. You are channeling that from yourself, no matter what. My name is Tynan Austin. You guys know me as Alphabyte. A big part of Alphabyte is who Tynan is, and same thing with him. A big part of who Hopsin is who Marcus is. And if you don't know, his name is Marcus Hopsin. His last name is spelled differently than how his stage name is. I think it's Hopson, and he's changed it to Hopsin, which could be a cool little wordplay on being a sinner, on sinning, Hopsin. So yeah, I always had a high appreciation for this line.
I act like it isn't a problem. I done shed tears contemplating my suicide in my room, isn't it awesome?
And there you go. And I didn't even break that part down, and that's probably the deepest part of the song, is how he shed tears in his room contemplating suicide. Isn't that awesome? I mean, what else do you want to hear from this guy to describe where he has issues with his mental state, how sad he is, how deep in a hole he is, how depressed he is? He's cried considering killing himself. He doesn't want to do it. He's probably crying for so many different reasons. He's crying about the fact that he's even considering suicide. He's crying about the fact that he's going to have to realize that when people find out that he killed himself, that, you know, it's like a level of empathy. He's going to think about his mom, his dad, any siblings, relatives, friends, even the distant ones that he doesn't think that he has, or even the surface level friends. He's thinking about how they're going to feel when they find out he's dead. Or he's thinking about like how he's not strong enough to survive, and he doesn't have the strength to live, right? Hundreds and millions of reasons probably why he was crying, contemplating suicide.
If I act like it isn't a problem, I done shed tears contemplating my suicide in my room, isn't it awesome? Fuck no.
And I like that little ad lib at the end. He's like, fuck no, right? Like, that is not awesome.
Tears contemplating my suicide in my room, isn't it awesome? Fuck no. Do you ever feel like the world is never gonna want you? Like the world is never gonna need you? I always do. Every day is deja vu for me. And I act like I don't give a fuck, but I do give a fuck. And I'm trapped inside my mind, there ain't no loosening up. Maybe I'm thinking too much. Am I caught in my feelings? Are the odds of me being accepted 1 in a million? I'm the black sheep, the black sheep. It's like the rain is falling on me, you don't know what I deal with. I'm the black sheep, the black sheep. Are the odds of me being accepted 1 in a million? I'm the black sheep, the black sheep. It's like the rain is falling on me, you don't know what I deal with. I'm the black sheep, the black sheep. Are the odds of me being accepted 1 in a million? I'm the black sheep, the black sheep. It's like the rain is falling on me, you don't know what I deal with. I'm the black sheep, the black sheep. Are the odds of me being accepted 1 in a million? I'm the black sheep.
Woo! Love this song. Love this song. Love this song. Love this song. I love this song. I'm gonna unlike it and like it again just because I want to. But there you go. That's Hopsin. Eric Tucker did a beautiful job on the hook. Hopsin did a good job on the hook. Hopsin did an amazing job with the verses. Excuse me. If you guys haven't heard this song, I hope you guys enjoy it just as much as I do, because this is one of my favorites on the album. This album, No Shame, was really good. I like it. As you can see, it says 5 years ago. Came out in 2017. So coming up on 8 years in November. But yeah, this song was really good. We're going to look at more songs on this album. We're going to look at a lot of Hopsin. I love Hopsin. All right. This channel's always, we're never going to get enough of Hopsin. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. I hope you guys enjoy this new format. I'm still going to be breaking down the songs, like I said earlier, but for the start of the reaction, we're just going to play through the song. But yeah, this was Hopsin on the No Shame album featuring Eric Tucker. This is Black Sheep. I'm going to have a link to the video in the description as always, and a link to his channel in the description as always. Make sure you guys like this reaction, like the video if you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you sub up Mr. Hopsin. Check out the song for yourself. Do all that good stuff. You guys already know how we do it around here, though. Until next time, y'all, doses.
I kept clenching both my fists and all the anger I had gripping. Then one day I sat and listened. Eminem was on and ripping like he wasn't on a mission to get sober. Had conviction, had some power in his image.